Greetings, my dear brothers and sisters, and Happy New Year to all of you. My name is Agnes, and together with me today are Sister Khoo Bee Ee and Sister Cheah Moey Lan, who will be joining me in today's sharing that is related to mindfulness and mindset. The topic of my presentation today is right mindfulness that has been adapted from the teachings of Master Cheng Yen from her book, 37 Principles to Enlightenment. Dharma Master Cheng Yen is the founder of a Buddhist Compassion Relief Chi Foundation, which is often referred to as Chi, a Buddhist humanitarian organization. Before I proceed with my presentation, let me briefly tell all of you a story of how I joined Chi. I was born and brought up as a Christian, and my parents are staunch Christians. I grew up not knowing much about other religions. Sister Cheah, who is with me today, was the first person who told me about Master Cheng Yen. She told me that a Buddhist nun in Taiwan set up an organization to help the whole world, and she is selfless. At that moment, I wondered which human being on earth is so good to sacrifice her life to help sentient beings, and I just did not proceed any further. I thought to myself, I'm a Christian and this is a Buddhist organization, so it wouldn't be suitable for me to join. But God knows what is the best for all of us, and my affinity with Searchy and Master Cheng Yen began one day 11 years ago when my daughter was admitted in Gleneagles Hospital due to a high fever. Since I was in the hospital for a few days, I began to get bored. So I went to the lobby to buy a drink. I saw a counter set up by three beautiful angels in blue selling all kinds of books and healthy products such as multigrains, healthy nuts, tea, and so on. I just dropped by the counter and asked one of the sisters, "Do you have any books in English?" Then the sister introduced me to a book entitled Jingsi Aphorism, Volume 1. When I saw the price of the book, I told the sister that it is a little expensive, but the sister told me that the book was worth buying. Since I was so bored, I bought the book and went back to the hospital room and started reading. I found the book very impressive, and I finished reading the book on the same day. The next day, I went down again to the lobby to buy more books. This time, the same sister introduced me to another book, Jingsi Aphorism, Volume 2. And then she took down my name and my address. Every 3 to 4 months once, I will receive an English version of the Searchy magazine from the particular sister. After reading 3 magazines, I decided to learn more about Searchy. I asked my husband whether he knows anything about Searchy. He said yes, but please do not join because the first thing they speak Mandarin and I wouldn't understand. And I have to become a vegetarian if I join Searchy, so it will be very difficult. And I will be very busy every weekend because the Searchy brothers and sisters are involved with charity work. But I told my husband, it is okay, we join first and we see how. And he agreed to accompany me for the activities. So here, I would also like to thank my husband for joining me in the activities, even though sometimes he is unwilling to do so. So this is how my journey in Searchy started. Now, I would like to continue with the topic of my presentation today, that is right mindfulness. Before I proceed with what is right mindfulness according to Master Cheng Yen, let us look at the concentration of the mind first. We must focus our minds on the right thoughts every second and every moment. All our desires lead to worries. So all our desires leads to worries, and all our worries comes from our desire. Therefore, to get rid of our worries, we must adjust the attitudes and thoughts in our minds. I would like to tell you a story about how my desire led to worry. Before I joined Searchy, I used to love gold. I had these cravings for gold. So whenever I had money, what I will do is I will go to the gold shop and I will try to buy any kind of gold, whether in a form of a chain, bracelet, anklet, or whatever. Then, after I have bought quite a sum of them, I did not know where to place them. So every night when I keep it at home, I'll be worried that the thief will come to my house and steal my gold, and there goes all my gold and money. So this is what Master tells us, that our desires will lead us to worries. Sister Bee, can you give me an example of how your desire has led you to worry?
Her line is not stable.
Sorry, I forgot to mute.
Okay.
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 As a layman, okay, of course we have many kind of various desire, okay, like towards clothes, towards our house, and then our clothes, okay. So and other non-material desire as well, okay, like our expectation on our children. If we wish that they can study well and score well and be a good student, but sometimes if they did not meet our expectation, we have this worry and angry. So these are the desire that lead us to the worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Bihong. To you, Sister Cheah, so can you give me an example of how your desire has led you to worry?
Well, I agree with Sister Bee. We have all kinds of desires in life. I used to worry about money, whether I have enough money to survive or not. But after some times, I realized that our desire will never end. When we are walking, we hope we have a motorbike. When we already have the motorbike, we want a small car, then bigger car, and we will never be satisfied and be happy. It is not easy to get rid of our desires, but we can learn how to deal with our desire or worries. I would like to share something here together with our brothers and sisters. Recently, I watched a movie. There was a mirror in that movie. Different people will see different things in the mirror because the mirror actually shows us the deepest and most desperate desires of our hearts. It is said that the happiest man on earth will look in the mirror and see only himself exactly as he is. We will tend to blame ourselves or others when something went wrong. First of all, I think we have to accept ourselves and our condition as it is. For example, my worry about the money. If I am earning 5,000, I have to accept the fact that I am not earning 50,000 and then figure out how to manage between the 5,000. On top of that, I think we need to be grateful with what we have. I am thankful that I'm still able to work, still have a job, and still earning the 5,000. Always remind ourselves, be grateful with what we have and not crying over what we don't have. I think this is meant by the happiest man on earth will look in the mirror and see only himself exactly as he is. Back to you, Sister Agnes.
Thank you very much, Sister Cheah. Very good explanation. So, what is right mindfulness? According to Master Cheng Yen, right mindfulness means that one contemplates the right parts of discipline, contemplation, and wisdom, and the 5 methods for calming the mind, and thus advances to the state of nirvana. As a Christian, I have not been exposed to mindfulness. For me, mindfulness is being in the present moment and being aware of what we are doing And right mindfulness is being in the present moment with the right thoughts in our minds, because sometimes I am mindful with the wrong thoughts in my mind. So, Sister Bee Ee, back to you. So, what do you understand by right mindfulness?
Well, my understanding of mindfulness is to be aware what I'm doing or thinking at each moment. It's like what Master Chen Yen taught us. Okay, be mindful all the time, although it is very difficult. Okay.
Thank you, Sister Bee Ee. What about you, Sister Cheah? What do you understand by right mindfulness?
For me, mindfulness is to concentrate at the present moment, present location, and present situation. And right mindfulness is concentration with the right thoughts. Thank you.
Master often stresses the importance of thoughts and concepts. So, Sister Bee Ee, in your opinion, why are thoughts important in creating right mindfulness?
Thoughts give rise to our action, our words. So this is according to Dharma teaching, Eightfold Path. Right view give rise to right thoughts, and hence it give rise to right action, right words, and at the end give us the right mindfulness. So the right thought is very important to give us the right mindfulness.
Thank you,
Thank
Sister
you.
Bee Ee. What about you, Sister Cheah?
If we have the right thoughts, it will be good to be mindful. However, if we concentrate on the wrong thoughts, it might lead us to more worries of trouble. For example, if we keep thinking, concentrating on our problems, we will become more depressed. However, if we have positive thinking and focus on that, we will be able to gain inner peace. When we have inner peace, we will have the power to move on in life. That's why thought is important in practicing right mindfulness. Thank you.
Yes, Sister Cheah, I agree with you. Positive thinking is very important. A person's outward behavior is the expression of his or her spiritual cultivation. I used to wonder why some people speak so nicely and behave so well. I would like to share a story. There was once I was on my way back from Kuala Lumpur to Penang. I was at the bus station waiting to board the bus. And on that particular day, the bus was delayed for more than 2.5 hours. And I was starting to get restless and I was irritated. But at the corner of the room there, I saw a Buddhist nun sitting so calm and serene. She was also waiting to board the same bus back to Penang. At that time, I was just wondering how can she be so calm when I am so irritated. So after joining Searchy and reading Master Cheng Yan's books, I realized that a person's expression or behavior is because of a spiritual cultivation. So, if our behavior is well cultivated, we can establish good inner moral concepts. So, now going back to spiritual cultivation, Sister Bee Ee, what is your understanding of spiritual cultivation?
Well, spiritual cultivation for me, okay, is to cultivate oneself to be a better person. I mean, to have lesser desire, to reduce our attachment, and actually, the ultimate aim is to be a happier person. That is what I understand about the spiritual cultivation.
Thank you, Sister Bee Ee. What about you, Sister Cheah?
Well, I think at least 90% of the population have a handphone nowadays. Every day, we will make sure that our handphone is charged full of energy, right? And I'm sure many of us now are plugging in the wire and charging our handphone while joining this sharing section, right? We are so worried that our handphone's power will be drained out. However, how often we check how much power or energy that left in ourselves? Do we have enough energy to move on in life? For me, spiritual cultivation is a process that we charge ourselves with positive thinking, good concept, good teaching, good hobby, and so on. We are so particular with what we eat every day, but we always forget to feed our mind. Spiritual cultivation is a learning process. We feed our mind with positive thought and concept so that our mind will be in peace and in the right path, and thus we will become a better person and behave in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Cheah. So, our thoughts give rise to our behavior. So, we must cultivate our minds. Our thoughts give rise to our behavior. If we are angry, we will not only show it by our actions, but also by our words. Many times we hurt our loved ones with our words. Words once said cannot be taken back. But if our thoughts are incorrect, we will end up on the path of evil, and everything we do will result in bad karma. So the incorrect thoughts and concepts will pave a path of evil, and this will result in bad karma. So, in short, everything is the result of our thoughts and concepts. Right mindfulness cautions us to think about everything we do in all our relationships. Relationships are important because they will increase our emotional well-being, and we have someone to count on when we face challenges. A positive relationship can be shared between any two people who love, support, encourage, and help each other practically and emotionally. Therefore, when dealing with people, we should reflect on the tone of our voice, our attitude while we deal with others, and the concepts, the discipline, the contemplation, and wisdom we should adopt to lay a foundation for our future conduct. So in relationships, when we speak to people, we have to think before speaking. And as the saying goes, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say anything. We need to be mindful of our speech. Back to you, Sister Bee Ee. Why do you think our tone of voice is important when we speak to people?
From our tone and our voice, one can perceive that whether we are angry or we are worried. Okay, from my personal experience with although I meant to be concerned, which I do not mean to be angry, but sometimes they perceive that I'm angry at their action and things like that. So there is also one incident that I have with my colleague. When I was exchanging message, not even the tone or speaking, is through the WhatsApp messages. He actually asked me not to get angry, but I'm not that, not that I was angry. It's just that the way I write. So mindfulness is very important in our everyday we do, because if we not mindful, people can perceive us as being not nice and be angry and etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Bee Ee. Now, Sister Cheah, how can we create good relationships with people?
By talking nicely to people, concerned about people, try to help when we can. Thank you.
So, how to prevent our minds from being distracted? Master Cheng Yen told us that we can cultivate contemplation. What is contemplation? Contemplation is mental discipline. Only through contemplation can wisdom be produced. So back to you, Sister Bee Ee. How do you prevent your mind from being distracted? Because I'm always distracted.
It's not easy. Okay, so since we are now in online mode of teaching, we have many tasks to complete. So I always remind myself of Master Cheng Yen's teaching to focus at one task at a time. So when I have this concept in mind, so I will try, okay, to complete one task first before going to another task. So in a way that it helped me to be more focused from other tasks. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sister Bee Ee. I think I need to learn from you. Sister Cheah, so how do you prevent your mind from being distracted?
I agree with Sister B. This is actually very difficult to do. Our minds get distracted because of the past and the future. We are occupied with all sorts of thought, all sorts of memory, especially the bad one and the experiences that is not good. But that are all already over. And we are worried about something in the future that has not happened yet. So in short, we are not at the present moment. So when I try to do something and my mind gets distracted, I will take a deep breath, tell myself, calm down, do one thing at one time. We actually can do exercise that helps us to concentrate and calm ourselves down. For example, breathing exercise. Recently, I started a breathing exercise in the morning. Initially, I used to lose count because my mind was full of all kinds of thought. So I kept telling myself, be at the present moment and concentrate on the breathing. After some time, I finally managed to complete the whole set of exercise without being distracted. We do physical exercise to train our body. Similarly, our mind also needs training. If we keep training our mind with exercises like breathing exercise, meditation, and so on, eventually we will be able to prevent our minds to be distracted, to be more mindful, and we will be able to carry out our daily tasks more effectively. Thank you. Back to you, Sister Agnes.
Thank you, Sister Cheah. I must learn the breathing exercise from you. Please teach me when you are free. When we cannot concentrate, we cannot even take in one single teaching. Therefore, we must also focus on what we are doing. That is why Master Cheng Yen emphasized on the importance of concentration. Master Cheng Yen introduced 5 methods for calming the mind. So all of us can learn these methods and try to calm our minds. So we must have the right mindfulness, correct thoughts, in order to go on the right path in accordance with discipline, contemplation, and wisdom. The first method that she emphasized was to count our breath to overcome distractions. People's minds are scattered and distracted, so they cannot concentrate. All of us, our minds are always distracted. Originally, we all have pure, tranquil, and radiant Buddha nature. However, ignorance and delusion appear within us, and our reactions become habitual, and our minds are polluted. I usually get angry with my children, especially when I ask them to do something and they take their own sweet time to do. They are usually, when I get angry, it's because they are on their handphones or iPads or laptops. If they are doing it because they have to do an assignment or they're attending classes online, I'm fine with that. But most of the time, they'll be on Instagram, WhatsApping their friends, WeChatting here and there and all that. So when I ask them to do something, when they don't get up and do it immediately, I get very angry and irritated. And sometimes I just feel like I want to say something or I want to scold them. But after reading Master Cheng Yan's book, I'll try to count 1 to 10. But of course, it does not happen every day. But from time to time, I will still lose my temper and say something, but I will try not to scold them too often after this.
Good news for your children.
Yes, thank you, Sister Cheah. Our society is so chaotic because people's minds are in confusion. So, when minds and concepts are in conflict, the actions that arise from them are also confused. Because of the influences of this world, our original Buddha nature has been debased to the nature of a common, lowly person in this world. So, how can we control our distracted minds? It is by counting our breath. One mind cannot think of two things at the same time. If you can count from 1 to 10 without being distracted and repeat it again, your skill will improve. If you can increase the process, you will eventually be able to keep your mind focused. Now, we shall try the breathing exercise. I would like to invite Sister Cheah to lead us in the breathing exercise.
Dear brother and sister, let's try out the breathing exercise. It's very simple. We just take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. That one we consider as one set. So we try to do together 10 sets. After I say start, then you count yourself. I won't count together with you. Okay, so we do all together 10 sets. Okay, start. Okay, so are you able to complete the whole set, the 10 times? If you can share with us, yes. If you cannot, just share with us, no. It doesn't matter if you can't do it. If you can do it, then very good. Keep going on and then try to practice until you are much better also. And those who still not able to do so, you can start practicing. Okay, so now we are back to Sister Agnes.
Thank you very much, Sister Cheah. I failed that breathing exercise. I really can't do it. I really need to learn. Okay, the second method that Master Cheng Yan taught us how to calm our minds is to consider the things you desire as impure to overcome greed. People's mind are unfocused and scattered because of greed. Greed means we think of something or someone is really wonderful and we want to have it. Sometimes the grass, the other side is always greener, yeah? So before reading Master Cheng Yan's books, I always had this very bad habit. In the morning, when I'm having my breakfast, when I put the first mouth full of food in my mouth, I will think what I can eat during tea time. Then next, what I can eat for lunch, what I can eat during tea time, and what I can eat for dinner. I will be thinking of what to eat the whole day. And before I sleep at night, I will think of what I can eat for the next day breakfast. So all this is because of greed for food. So due to that, I developed diabetes at a very young age. So this bad karma arises because we love ourselves too much. I love myself too much, so I love to eat. Okay, it is because we also have physical bodies that we yearn to possess material things of this world. As I mentioned earlier, I loved gold so much. This is also greed. Therefore, in order to get rid of our greed, we must start by observing our bodies as nothing. We can ask ourselves, why do we need to fight to own things? How long can we live in this world? What are we fighting for anyway? For love, people are willing to give up everything: wealth, prestige, even their futures. Why? Because their minds are confused and scattered. Only by considering everything in this world as impure can we overcome our greed. If we use this method well, all our desires will disappear. Sometimes people are willing to give up their lives when a relationship does not work out. This is very sad. The third method introduced by Master Cheng Yen is to use compassion to overcome anger. People become angry very easily, and anger is a source of worry. Our worries come from three sources, that is greed, anger, and delusion. If these three are not removed, our concepts cannot be correct and our wisdom cannot grow. I am a very hot-tempered person. Let me give you an example of a delusion. I had a student who did not pass up his assignment. So I was very angry with the student. In my mind, I was thinking that the student is very irresponsible, the student is lazy. But I still tried calling him. I called him the first time, he did not answer. The second time, he did not answer. The third time also, he did not answer. And I sent him several messages. He did not answer as well. Then, after a few days, I tried calling him again, and he answered the phone. And I asked him, why didn't you pass up your assignment? He said that, teacher, I'm not interested in studying anymore. Then I asked him why. He said, because my parents are going through a divorce. So when I heard that, I really felt very sad because he was one of my good students. So I told him to see a counselor and do what he can and try to submit the assignment within the time given. So we must keep in mind that people in the secular world must handle their problems with jobs, supervisors, or managers, and therefore they lack an environment where they can nurture compassion. Students, they have their assignments and their lectures and their projects to go through. So that's why they also lack an environment where they can nurture compassion. So how often do all of you get angry? What triggers your anger? We should ponder on what triggers our anger and try to overcome it. Sister BE, how often do you get angry and why?
Okay, before that, I think Agnes, you forgot to share the screen.
Oh, sorry. Why
Okay.
didn't you tell me?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Don't get angry. Be mindful.
No.
Okay, we often get angry because our
Oh,
expectation towards other is not met. Okay. So we get angry when we expect A, we get back B. So I always remind myself, okay, of Master Chen Yan Jingsi aphorism. Okay, getting angry is punish yourself with others people's mistake. And there is another Jingsi aphorism: giving vent to anger is temporarily insanity. So whenever if I get angry, I will try to remember these two Jingsi aphorism. Okay, it will calm me down, and then maybe think about, okay, probably they have their reason not to achieve what we want. Okay, so to be able to accommodate, okay, Master Chen Yan teaches 4 ingredients of spiritual soup. Okay, contentment, gratitude, 感恩知足, 善解包容. So 善解 is means compassion, 包容 is to accommodate. So that is the teaching that I try to practice so that I can reduce the times frequency of getting angry. Okay, this is my personal experience.
okay, thank you, Sister BE. So, next to you, Sister Cheah, how often do you get angry and why?
Well, I guess I don't really get angry often. But I'm a person that is particular with punctuality and responsibility. Same like Sister Agnes. If the student pass up their homework late, or worse, did not pass up their homework, being late to the class, skip the class, didn't do revision on what I had taught them, I would get angry. If this happened, I would try to remind myself, don't be angry. Like Sister B said, being angry is punishing ourselves for others' mistake. And I will try to find out the reasons they did so. Maybe they were busy, or maybe they have problems, and so on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sister Cheah. So, we must show love and concern for people that we do not know, and we must share compassionately in the suffering of others. This is great love that Master has been emphasizing. It is easy for us to love the person that we know, or it is easy to love our family members, but not easy to love the person that we do not know. When I newly joined Searchy, my area leader, Brother Wong Sing Choi, invited me for home visits. So when I visited the care recipient's home, I understood and I felt for them. They were poor and they were suffering. But what I learned from the home visit was how Brother Wong Sing Choi was so loving, so caring, and so concerned for the care recipients. At that moment, I thought to myself, I do not know whether I can do this or not. And today, I would like to thank Brother Wong Sing Choi for teaching me how to love and care for others, even though he doesn't know them. He still had that concern and love, and I can see how he gave his whole heart, his whole soul in helping them. And there are days that he will go on his own, not during the visits of the care recipient. On the particular day, on Sunday, he will go different days to teach the poor children tuition in their homes. I was very impressed, and I think that I owe him a great thank you. So the fourth method that Master Cheng Yen taught us is to remember the law of cause and effect to overcome ignorance. So, what is ignorance? Ignorance is the lack of knowledge and awareness. People are ignorant, and ignorance and wisdom go contrary to each other. When we learn Buddhism, we hope to activate our wisdom. And in order to do that, we need to destroy ignorance. So Master Cheng Yen focuses on creating good causes to get rid of our ignorance. Back to you, Sister Bee Ee. What do you think is the best way to overcome ignorance?
Master Cheng Yen always encourage us to listen to the Dhamma, and then from listening to the Dhamma to practice in life. She always asks us to listen to Dhamma at dawn. For me, listen to Dhamma teaching, reading Dhamma books is a way to overcome my ignorance, because I believe that the ignorance comes from our own wrong thoughts. So by reading Dhamma and get to understand better in Dhamma, we get to change our mindset, our wrong thinking. So in a way, it leads us to clear our ignorance.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister Bee Ee. What about you, Sister Cheah? What do you think is the best way to overcome ignorance?
I think when we are ignorant, that means we don't know about something, right? So if we don't know, we should try to get to know, try to learn. For instance, we can read books that teach us good things, like Master Book. We can watch videos that are good for us, listen to talks that benefits us, and so on. In fact, I learned a lot from reading books and listening to talks that changed my mindset. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Cheah. So all the Buddha's teachings have to do with the law of cause and effect, which rules our entire life. We create our causes in our daily activities. People in this world spend their lives struggling for love, wealth, and prestige. They fight over things that can cause a great deal of torment. Before joining Searchy, I used to wonder why my mother-in-law behaves in a certain way towards me, why she does not treat me well when I always try to be nice to her. So after reading Master Cheng Yen's books, I realized that this is the law of cause and effect. So probably I owe her in the past life, so in this life, I have to pay her, even though generally mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws never get along. The fifth method that Master Cheng Yen emphasized on having to how to calm our minds is to chant the Buddha's name to overcome obstacles. But if you are not a Buddhist, you can chant in whatever way according to your religion. Everyone's mind has unlimited light, but this light tends to shine outwards. The light cannot focus unto our minds, and so we are filled with the darkness of ignorance. This is an obstacle. Obstacles can come within ourselves or from outside. External obstacles cannot interfere with our spiritual cultivation, but internal obstacles can. So, what are external obstacles? External obstacles, for example, are like natural disasters, the economy, the actions of people around you. All this we cannot control, we cannot change. But our internal obstacles are like our own shortcomings, okay? It's fear, anger, impatience, conflicts, hatred, greed. So these are all our internal obstacles that we can change. So it is very important that we must take care of our mind. Master stressed the most important thing is our mind. In my own opinion, I believe that a healthy mind is more important than a healthy body. When we are sick physically, we go and see so many doctors. We go to the clinic to look for doctors. We go to the hospital to checks up. But what about our mind? When our mind is disturbed and we are mentally sick, we do not visit any doctors. So this is a problem in today's world. So we need to work on that. So Sister Bee Ee, how long have you joined Searchy?
I have joined Searchy since year 2007.
2007. So it's now about 14 years.
Yeah.
Okay, what has Searchy taught you, Sister Bee Ee?
When I first joined group, the group at the charity group I joined at that time was actually visiting cancer patient at that time. Okay, so it actually teach me these cancer patients life is very short. Okay, that we say that the cause and effect probably because of their past causes action, so that lead them to have this illness. And there is a one particular case, okay, one young man who actually, I think he has leukemia at that time, but he recovered, and then he decided to join the training session, okay, to become a Tzu volunteer. Just I think in a 1 year time, okay, he from a white shirt volunteer to become a gray shirt volunteer. He managed to change that. So as a care recipient, and then he changed to become a giving person. I mean, volunteers that help others. But a short while after that, the cancer relapsed, and then he passed away. Okay, this actually got me thinking. Okay, life is short. We should not wait to do good deeds. Okay, there is a one JingSi aphorism that is testify this. There are two things in life that cannot wait: fulfilling filial piety and doing good deeds. So this actually inspire me more, okay, to seize the every moment and opportunity that I can able to be doing good deeds. And then later, when after I moved from Penang Island to Nimong Tabao, okay, I joined education group. And then at this time, I learn more, okay, appreciate more Master Chen Yan's education core values. Okay. Education actually is to inspire love, okay? And there's a saying, no students who can't be taught, just that we have not found the right methods as a parent and as a teacher. So actually this core value has inspired me a lot and has actually encouraged me to explore better ways when I'm thinking how to teach my students. Okay, so all in all, I have gained a lot as a volunteer in Searchy. By practicing what Master Chen Yan taught us, okay, as a living bodhisattva, it's actually not us giving, it's actually we are gaining from our interaction with others and carrying our activities, organizing activities. It's actually harness, okay, us the skills, and also let us give us to talk, think, and then to gain more wisdom. that is, I think, the most precious experience one can gain as a volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Bee. So, Sister Cheah, what advice would you like to give your students so that they can practice right mindfulness?
I dare not say it is advice because I myself am still learning, but I would like to share 3 things with them. Firstly, to learn to be mindful. During face-to-face lesson, from time to time, we encounter students that were not concentrating on their lesson, right? Some more with online lesson now, I'm sure there are more distraction. On top of that, our students are too busy with homework, tests, exam, activities, and so on. I remember I was met with a student who skipping my classes and assessment because he was involved in many activities and events. When the student had to deal with too many things at the same time, they might not be able to concentrate and get what they hope for. So they have to learn how to concentrate and deal with one thing at one time. They have to tell themselves, okay, I settle one by one according to priority. We talk to people every day, but it is equally important to have a talk with ourselves. Secondly, spiritual cultivation is important. Many of our students are brilliant and work very hard to pass or even score in all kinds of tests and exams. But soon, they have to face the test in life, which they can't find the answers in their textbook. Spiritual cultivation helps a person to succeed in life and to succeed as a human. If they have a religion, they can do so by learning and practicing teachings of their religion. Besides, there are many good things like good talks, good essay that they can search and find in the internet since they are spending most of their times on their phones, as Sister Agnes said just now. It is not necessarily must be serious teaching that sounds so heavy, but to have a good hobby that relax our mind will be good as well. Of course, not playing computer games 24 hours because there's already addiction and no more a hobby. Thirdly, open the mind and open the heart. We have to learn to be grateful and concerned about others. We have to be grateful with what we have. Be grateful to our parents that provided us with what we have. Concerned about people that we know and people that we don't know. There are many things in life that we should concern about. Relationship with family, friends, what we can do for the society, and so on. Life is not merely about exam and how many A's we can get. We won't be able to know the answers for everything or have the know-how to deal with everything. So we need to learn. We have to empty our cup for it to be filled. Confucius said, if I am walking with 2 other men, each of them will serve as my teacher. I will pick up the good points of the one and imitate them, and the bad points of the other and correct them in myself. We learn from others and we learn from our own experiences as well. Life is a learning process. Lastly, I would like to share here a practice that I just learned from a book last night. I think it is a good practice that will benefit all of us. Every morning when we wake up, tell ourselves, today is going to be a great day. Whatever happens, I will be able to learn and grow stronger. I accept everything wholeheartedly and happily. Before going to bed, tell ourselves, today was a great day. I learned and I grew stronger. I'm grateful that I'm still alive. I have food to eat. I have a shelter. I wish myself, everyone, and everything the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Cheah, for your wonderful sharing. Back to you, Sister Bee. So what advice would you like to give your students so that they can practice right mindfulness?
Well, okay. Mindfulness is not that something you can gain immediately. So you have shared 5 methods. Okay, my advice to the students. So you pick a method that you comfortable, that suits your needs, and practice it diligently and be persevere. Okay, because this is not something we have it and there. We must continually practice, and then we will gain more concentration each day by each day. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Sister BE. So, in conclusion, it is very important to have right mindfulness that will pave a path for us to practice good behavior, and thus good relationships can be built. Buddhism is a way of life, and if we can practice it, we will be able to live a happier life with fewer desires and worries. Thank you, Sister BE and Sister Cheah Moey Lan, for joining in today's sharing. And thank you, my brothers and sisters, for watching our sharing today. May all of us be blessed with good health. Just a small reminder to everyone, our next session will be on the 19th of February, and we hope to see all of you again. Thank you.
And
Um,